Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Hannah Wallace, and with me now is John Knuff, Global Lead of Financial Technology for Equinix, and we're talking about themes from today's Equinix and Finextra Roundtable. Hello John, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks, Hannah.
Now, speaking off the back of the roundtable this morning, how would you compare and contrast markets globally to what you've heard from this morning in London?
So I think there's definitely universal themes around trust, identity, cross-border payments, cross-border remittals, and security elements, especially in the world of open banking, because you've got the two guardrails of security and openness, and the customers want to make sure that their data isn't out in the wild. So I think the main themes from today is that there's a new ecosystem forming around open banking, and one of the quotes that I heard was, "You don't survive unless you partner." Mm-hmm. And I think there will be a lot of new vendors in this space, a lot of new partners, and so our goal is to make sure that that ecosystem that supports open banking is there for the banks that are adopting this new regulation.
All right, and what were the key themes? What comments would you highlight from today's discussion?
Well, I think what I took away was that there's kind of a new ecosystem that's forming around open banking and PSD2, specifically. And so I think a lot of the banks are looking for new partners, especially in the technology space, that will enable some of their platforms and will enable new and richer interactions with their customers. At the same time being secure and giving their client base that feeling of security and that their data is still safe with their bank.
All right, and following on from that then, you've already touched on it a little bit, talking about security, but what are the sort of main worries going around the table?
I think it's around the startups having an advantage and some of the challenger banks that don't have legacy infrastructure actually being a leg up on some of the banks that have been around 50 or 100 years. And understanding regulations around Know Your Customer, AML regulations. And so I think that fine line between compliance and also being a little bit disruptive and out on the cutting edge of technology tends to be the biggest challenge.
And finally, John, what will be your key takeaways leaving London?
Well, I think London is viewed as one of the most forward-thinking financial markets, especially in banking and retail. I think the adoption of faster payments in 2008 was really a good learning curve for a lot of the banks, and I think it's put London 5 to 10 years ahead of other global markets. So I think open banking is being embraced and it will be adopted, and I think it will bring a lot of benefits both on the commercial as well as consumer side of banking.
Fantastic. Well, John, I hope you've enjoyed your visit. Thank you
Yes.
for speaking with me.
Thank you. Thanks, Hannah.
And thank you for watching.